In this episode, we're talking about recent comments from Tim Cook about the future of pro computers at Apple. We're talking about a cool app to hack your Mac, and we have a public service announcement for every single Mac user. You don't want to miss it. If you're liking it, please give us a big thumbs up right there in YouTube. And hey, we're back. Let's get started.
I've missed this table.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Are we doing back? Because we just came from a commercial break.
Oh, like a commercial break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Foojee Show. I feel like it deserves a welcome back because it's we're on episode 15 now.
There you go.
I feel like it's been a long time. So we saw each other in January when we got to hang out with Jeremy Cowart.
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
That was awesome.
Little bit of Justin's celebrity crush right here. So
yeah, I played it cool though.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah.
You weren't like shaking too much.
Nope. Not too much.
But before that, we took kind of a hiatus during the holiday months.
Yeah.
And, got just to kind of focus on client work. And, man, I'm super excited. We were always intending to come right back. And so here it is. It's March, which is absolutely nuts. But during this break, we've been able to think about what we want to do for the show. Taking a look at your feedback, our clients' feedback on what they like to see, and I'm kind of excited to start with a new format, and we'll just kind of go with the flow for today. And basically, what it is I want to break up the video and the podcast into different sections, just 3 sections, and I think that'll allow people to just kind of listen to different parts of like what we see every day, because I think it breaks it up.
Yeah. We work in an industry, and if you like this type of content, this type of industry it's not timeless. There's always something new. There's always something up to date, out of date, and we get to see a lot of that because we work with so many different types of businesses every day. I think that's the kind of format we're going to give. We'll break it into some sections, but we're just going to kind of move along.
Yeah,
so that'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. And the first section is going to be news. We've always made it a point to not become just like a news show. There's plenty of those out there, but I think for our audience, you may not be, seeing and listening and reading all the same news we are. So we just want to bring the headlines, like stuff that's good to know, whether you're in business or professional. Like about to be buying a new iPhone or a new iPad. Just want to kind of stay up on what's happening with Apple. We'd like to offer some,
and not just like Apple fanboy news. I think that's important to say. It's not Apple fanboy news, even though we could sprinkle that in there sometimes.
Because we read that every day. Yeah,
for sure. But also just you had good examples like if you're going to buy a new iPhone and here's some technology that's actually moving away and it's dying off, or I think that's good. That's good stuff.
And for example, we won't be talking about iPhone rumors. For example, there's plenty of rumor sites out there. There's always iPhone rumors because there's always a new iPhone coming out, and there's going to be a new iPhone in 2018. Did you know that?
Yes, and I'm already so excited about it.
Yep, I've already put it in my budget. and it's gonna come out in September.
Yep.
And you know what? I think there's a new one. There's a rumor in 2019 that there's a new iPhone too.
There's a rumor in 2019 about the 2018. In 2018 about 2019.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So there's enough going on the rumor sites where we don't need to touch on that.
Yeah.
So
jump in.
Kind of a recent headline is Tim Cook came out and shared some news to shareholders. In a recent shareholders meeting in Cupertino. There's been a lot of speculation on whether Apple is giving up on the creative or professional market because all of their professional products haven't really met the expectations for the pro community. Whether that's warranted or not is its own debate. I think the new MacBook Pros are quite capable and are very worthy MacBook Pros to hold that moniker. But if you look at the Mac Pro, there hasn't been a new Mac Pro in, I believe the latest number is 1,100 days without a new Mac Pro, which is over 3 years.
And we're not talking about a design change. We're even talking about a hardware update. Just a bump.
Like, hey, faster processor,
just a
more
little faster.
RAM, or even a price adjustment. Like, you are if you want to buy a Mac Pro right now, you are paying the same price for that Mac Pro
over 3 years
from
ago.
over 3 years ago.
People are scratching their heads about this.
Yeah. And pick your podcast. There's a lot of analysis on what this means, and so that's why it's big news that Tim Cook said to shareholders. I'll read it right here. Someone asked them if Apple has plans to do more in the Pro area, and Cook said, "You will see us do more in the Pro area." Quote, "The Pro area is very important to us, period. The creative area is very important to us in particular." So what he didn't acknowledge there is if he's talking about Macs or iPads or the watch, but I think you can easily say that's giving us a good degree of hope. One speculation out there is that it could just be like an iMac Pro, maybe like Mac Pro specs, but in the iMac package.
I think that can make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially now that all iMacs are either 4 or 5K, like the resolution on the screens themselves are fantastic.
Yeah, beautiful screen.
So if you're working in 5K video and all that stuff, then you can, you can see all that. But I want to say that I think Tim's doing a really good job. I don't work for Apple, but this is the kind of stuff that he gives us just enough, enough of the carrot to keep talking about it. But I believe him. I don't know.
This is part of their plan. Huh?
Yeah. I think that there's something coming down the chain that they're working on this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it was just reassuring to see, what that looks like. Who knows? Right now, the iMac, depending on your need, can actually be a faster. It's like same speed or faster than a Mac Pro for the dollar, right? Like based on the budget that you have. There are some configurations of the Mac Pro that are actually less powerful than the iMac, if you can put it that way. So, well, that's also because it's a 3-year-old machine, Yeah. To kind of add to that, like second little pseudo headline is there's rumored to be an event in March. It is March this month. That's pretty exciting. No news on that as of the taping of this show. Right. But so we might find out more then. I personally think it's unlikely. If you're waiting for a Mac Pro, I think it's going to be probably summertime. Would I love to be surprised? Yes, but we'll see what happens in this upcoming event. The rumor is going to be more iPad centric, so maybe a new iPad, even a new iPad like screen size,
different size, yeah,
in between the 9.7 and the 12.9 inch, kind of a middle of the road that incorporates like a slightly new industrial design. So could be new iMacs this month as well.
Needed. It's been well over a year.
Yeah, that's also been over a year.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about that event. But no more like need to know news on that. The next bit of news and the last one is that Apple announced their second campus is finally officially being opened and used beginning in April. And they've also named it. They've named it Apple Park, which it's kind of cool.
Cool.
Wasn't what I was
expecting.
expecting.
Reminds me of like a stadium or a baseball park, but it kind of is like one. It's, if anyone doesn't know, it's a huge campus, but it's a huge circle, like a ring, and it's open in the middle, and there's trees and little parks and all this stuff in the middle of it. Everything is just. People call it like what the spaceship or the UFO or
right.
They're not going to call it the spaceship, I think. No. Okay, there you go. They're going to
call
it Apple Park.
And as it relates to us, all of us, if we ever find ourselves in Silicon Valley, they in that same press release they announced that they're going to have a cafe open to the public.
Whoa!
That any of us could just and an Apple store at the park. where any of us can just walk in and have some coffee or maybe a small meal. Have you been to the current mothership?
Which they call Infinite Loop, right?
Yep. Or sure.
I think so.
Apple Campus or Infinite Loop.
Yes, I went. And it was awesome.
Now, they do have a cafe there, Cafe Max, that has great food, and you choose what you want. But you have to be accompanied by an employee. Yeah. So it's not really open to the public, whereas this one will be. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
New employees are moving in starting April. What's interesting is WWDC has been announced for June. And so you're kind of wondering if they're going to be hosting any of those events or sessions, at the new campus.
I know that they have their own theater. It's an underground theater in the new campus. So I wonder what they're going to hold there.
Yeah, exactly. I read that it is 1,000 seats, that theater. So it's probably not big enough for like that conference.
Yeah, but which is 5,000 plus, right?
Yes, exactly. So, but who knows?
Yeah.
Exciting times. Cool. So the next section that we thought would be good, because we're always in front of so many clients, we're trying out new apps constantly, is let's just have like a quick app showcase of what we're currently using or recommending to our clients. There's no point in
what we're seeing out there.
Right. There's no point in having like a whole episode based on like, hey, here's 10 apps that you should check out. I don't think, because that just doesn't hold up like long term. So
it doesn't.
Rather just kind of let's just talk about one that you should check out and move along. So this week's is Better Touch Tool, which is kind of a mouthful, but let me just tell you what this is. So the trackpad on our MacBooks and on your Magic Trackpad too, if you have one at home, are the best trackpads in the industry. They're glass. The amount of friction and everything, their multi-touch is super cool, and they do exactly what they're supposed to. But one thing that Apple doesn't tell us is our day-to-day use of the trackpad is really only about 25% of its capabilities. Like this multi-touch technology can do so much more, but Apple's own operating system doesn't even support extra features of it.
That's crazy.
And this developer from Better Touch Tool decided he wanted to exploit everything that this trackpad can actually do. And for example, I believe the trackpad can detect up to 10 inputs at a time, like 10 fingers. I don't know what kind of actions you would do with 10. It can detect what direction each of your fingers are currently moving at any given time.
Wow.
And so given kind of the parameters that you can work within, what you can do with Better Touch Tool is create triggers, right, like actions based on certain clicks or gestures.
Okay, give me some examples.
So, like, it's crazy how flexible this is. Like, for example, if you wanted to, you could say you visit the Weather Channel, weather.com a lot. You can tell it that a 3-finger circular motion opens up weatherchannel.com. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to, you could.
You could.
I shared this with a client, and like one thing that really kind of like just clicked with him was doing taps in each corner of the trackpad.
Okay.
Triggers to a different website or app that he uses a lot. So, so an app that he uses for work a lot, he mapped to like the top left corner. If you just tap it, it'll open up that app.
That's cool.
And one of the corners I think was like weather.com. The other one was a news channel that he uses.
I wonder if you could like queue up an email. That would be neat.
Oh, yes. Like I haven't even, like I've only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But within applications are triggers. And you can even map it to like menu items within an application.
Oh, well then that would work, yeah.
Like new email is an awesome idea. I didn't even think about that.
Just queue it up and start typing.
So if you try it out, or if you use Better Touch Tool and you have triggers that you use, like just list them out in these comments.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. It's one of those things where you learn about how deep it can go through other people's,
workflows. Yeah, that's cool.
So Better Touch Tool, I want to make sure to at least share it to our podcast listeners what that website is.
It's just crazy that the technology, we're using drag, click. Or
Yes.
sometimes 2 clicks for your contextual menu. Sometimes the 3 fingers up and down if you're like, moving things away. But even the 3 fingers up, 3 fingers down using expose or the built-in native shortcuts that still a lot of people don't use.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if it's 25, 30, 35% of what the trackpad can do, that's pretty cool that they've really tapped into the full potential.
Yep, and
trackpad.
he makes it, he updates the app, keeps it compatible with the latest operating systems. I
think all new Macs are going to come with that larger trackpad.
Oh, which is even better.
Yeah.
Good night. This thing can do 2-finger swipe diagonal top left. Right, can be different from diagonal top right. Or
I mean, definitely for us. I'm not going to say for power users because you could use this if you just want to customize. But you have to have a want and a need to customize your workflow for this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So check it out. The website is boaster.net, kind of spelled differently. Have no idea if that indicates something. But Boast, BOASTR.net, to get better touch tool. And they have a couple of other cool apps as well. Let's go to purchase.
That's cool. Boaster.net.
Yep. Huh. So definitely check it out. There's a trial, and then
that's good.
You should at least tinker with it. There's also a bulk purchase to get a slight discount.
Yeah.
So
we could put it in the notes.
Yeah. While that's loading, we can just move on to our last and final section, which is going to be #askFoojee. So we're going to combine whether it's questions from our audience, from social media or comments, or tickets from clients that are sent in that we just think are worth sharing.
Yeah.
We're going to put them all in the askFoojee section. And before I jump into that section, the pricing for Better Touch Tool is you pick.
Oh,
so love independent developers. It's this one guy that gives you options ranging from $4.99 all the way to $50. He doesn't want you to pay more than $50 for this tool, and he recommends $8.99.
Yeah,
it's kind of where the choice starts.
I mean, some dude's putting food on the table.
Oh, absolutely,
making this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So support the developer. It's one guy that runs it, and it's a fantastic app.
Right.
Very reliable app.
Yeah, cool.
So for this askFoojee section, we're just going to distill it down into one conversation because I think it needs to be said. We're gonna do a public service announcement.
Is there going to be scrolling stuff at the bottom?
There should be. Can you add that?
I can try.
Okay. So this public service announcement is because we come across this so often, and it's on the topic of backups. Justin, how many backup restores are we doing per month now?
A bit too many.
Yeah.
At least once a month for different reasons, different types of backups, different restores at different times. It feels like
we restore a lot.
Yeah.
From people's backups when they have them. So
yeah, right.
First sort of PSA is to have a backup, but what we want to do is spend just a couple minutes telling you what we think is the right way to do a backup. Give you some ideas. There's 2 backups or types of backups that we recommend, because we know that even backups fail. And so we do recommend 2 types of backups.
Cool. Yeah. You can play good cop.
Okay.
Okay, I'll play bad cop.
Okay. Great.
You have to have a backup.
That's an easy way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. There's no.
It's more direct.
You have to have a backup. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Either your personal life and all the pictures of your family and loved ones will be gone, or your whole business could hinge on something as simple as a cheap drive for a backup.
And I'm telling you, successful small businesses that we work with, I'm just talking about more on the server or Mac side as opposed to iOS for a second. Successful businesses, brilliant people, don't have backups or have very ineffective backups that are still relying on human action once a day or once a week to back stuff up. So just take a good look, and hopefully we can share some advice here. Real quick, before we get into Mac backups, which I think is really the topic here.
Yeah.
Little mini PSA for your iPhone. Back up to iCloud. Go to settings/iCloud/backup and make sure that's on. If your iCloud is full, that's fine. Please pay for that. I said please. I'm good cop. Please just pay to upgrade your iCloud account. You could go free and back up to your iTunes, like on your computer at home. But again, you're introducing human involvement, which means human error. And for $1 a month for most people, I think it's worth having this backup every day.
Bad cop. You probably spend maybe $1 a day or $3
Is this a
day.
commercial now? Like for just $1?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Then I'm really bad cop. I'm a bad cop.
Okay.
You should spend the $3 a month, or the $10 a month, whatever you need to spend to make sure you get a backup. Because lots of people don't just use this for phone calls, right? They use your iPhone to even run your business. So.
Yep. Cool. Backup. That's iPhone. Okay, for the Mac, and we'll make this quick. The first backup that everyone should have is a local backup, meaning one that's in your house, right, or in your office if you're using it at the office. And the best way, in our opinion, for years has been Time Machine. It's built into the Mac. It's
magic.
It's a free tool, and it's extremely reliable because every time Apple has a new OS or a new Mac, you know that the backup is going to be compatible with it. It's from Apple.
Yep.
So the only thing you need is a destination, a drive to back it up to, whether that's a USB drive or a network drive, like a time capsule. Which brings up an interesting note about time capsules, but we'll get to that in one quick second. The idea of Time Machine is that it backs up every hour.
Yeah, and you can even adjust that with some software. You can even adjust more or less.
Yeah. Little hack is Time Machine Editor. No spaces.
Love that one.
Just search Time Machine Editor. It's a free download, and that lets you customize it. If you're a pro user and you don't want it backing up while you're editing photos, or during certain hours of the day, you can customize it.
It's awesome.
But out of the box,
once an hour.
Apple's is once an hour. You don't have any options. It's just on or off. And as long as you're plugged in or in that network, that Wi-Fi network, it will be backing up every hour. If it's not plugged in, it'll just wait until the next time you plug in, and it'll sort of catch up, do an incremental backup from the last time it completed its backup.
If you're plugging the drive in, it'll take care of it for you.
Yep, just plug it in, and then whenever you sit down, and it'll just catch up with where you've been. So we recommend backups that require as little human intervention as possible, and that's why we like network backups, whether it's time capsule or a NAS-based backup. But tell me about the time capsule conversation. We're going to go on a little quick tangent here because Apple has had some rumor news that kind of affects this recommendation.
Yeah, rumor news. It's not been officially reported. No one from Apple has said this officially, but it seems to be, and people have said this, that they're out of the airport game. They're out of the networking game. They're no longer going to be making airport expresses, airport extremes, or even airport time capsules. What was so nice about the time capsule, and I still use one today, it's still chugging along. I've had 2 different time capsules over 8-9 years. So they were awesome. Is it provided me my wireless network at home, and it backed up my computers, and I didn't have to think about it.
It's amazing.
So
you said you got that as a wedding gift?
It was like a wedding gift. Man, thanks, guys.
That's a great wedding gift.
It was a great wedding gift, and that lasted me like 5 years, and it was still humming along, and I just upgraded. But it's nice because you don't have to worry about it. So, so then what? There's so many new players to the game on the networking front. Eero, we're big Eero fans. That's a whole episode by itself. We'll talk about that one later. But the whole mesh networking conversation.
Yeah, we can go deep with that.
Yeah. But
in another episode.
what pieces of hardware, what companies are great to just plug into your network, and then all your computers are backing up wirelessly? We could go lots of different directions here. I'll go ahead and say kind of the go-to for Foojee that we like to recommend is Synology.
Yep.
They have lots of different products from enterprise all the way to home use. And it's pretty easy to use. You can plug it into your router, and with a little bit of setup, you're good to go.
Exactly, and it's agnostic between operating systems. So if you do have a Windows computer at the office or at home, you can use that NAS to back up your Macs and PCs. Yeah. So yeah, like it's a little bit more money to get a network-based drive, but man, you know what it reminds me of? Like once you've had a time capsule where you're wirelessly backing up, and your wife's laptop is wirelessly backing up without you having to do anything, it's going to be hard to go back now that Apple isn't making time capsules anymore. It's sort of like forgive me, I'm a Southern boy.
I can't wait for this.
It's like the first time you get a car with heated seats. Like now I can't let go of heated seats.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even get that cold
Not
here.
Really. But I turn my heated seats on before I get out of the car. So then they're on when I get in.
Wow, you really are a Southern. You don't want to be cold.
Yeah. I think it's a decent analogy. I like it.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
I'm never going back.
Thank you for that pro tip, heated seat tip.
That's a pro tip.
So once you've had heated seats, like you can't do without those. So now that we've tasted wireless backup, if my time capsule were to blow up today, I would go with the Synology.
Okay.
And so just look into that. They have so many options. It's hard to just give you a recommendation here. But hashtag us, askFoojee.
Right.
Comment on the video. Shoot me an email. helpme@foojee.com. And then we can kind of help you decide if you need a bit more attention, especially for an office environment. Whether it's 3 people, it's worth talking. Even if it's 100 people, that can get pretty complex pretty quick. So, and as far as the networks, we can get to that in another episode. But eRow is kind of what we're going to these days for Wi-Fi. Great. Brilliant, experience, setup experience.
But that's all to do with local backups. Have a local backup, because if something goes down, you can get backup really quickly.
Yep, really quickly. None of what we've talked about so far has a monthly fee associated with it. So you buy something once for your office and you're done.
Yep.
Okay. Now, the other type of backup that everyone needs to have, this is not a nice to have, so I'll play bad cop for a second. This is not hey, you should think about this. You really need to have an offsite or cloud backup. There are a lot of options out there. We absolutely love CrashPlan. That's what we provide to our clients, in full disclosure.
We provide them an enterprise.
Right, version
of it
CrashPlan,
Yeah.
but CrashPlan has a home use as well that you can get directly from them.
Yep.
CrashPlan.com. Backblaze is another one that's great for Macs. But what I like about CrashPlan is you can back up network mounted drives as well. So if you want to save some money, you can actually mount other
That's nerdy.
computers,
I like that.
or network drives, and include that as part of your same monthly fee.
Cool.
And needless to say, an offsite backup or a cloud backup is there in case something happens to your physical backup, in your office or in your home. And yes, they're safe. Yes, between both of those companies, they are encrypted beyond your bank website's level of encryption.
That's right. That's actually correct.
And so they're safe. We've been using them for years, and a lot of our peers just in the industry uses these cloud backup services. And the reason why we're recommending you have 2 backups is because even backups fail, right?
That's the point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So it's not just for safety's sake, just to be overprotective, but I can't tell you how often backups fail. Sometimes it's a physical failure, like your NAS drive fails, and so you need that other one. but also when it might seem like it's working, and when you go to restore your data, when you get a new computer or whatnot, you realize it's corrupted.
It's happened.
Right? Or, oh, you know what? This one hasn't backed up for some reason for 3 months. Oh, because so-and-so came over and turned that off and forgot to turn it back on, right? And then you ran into a recent one where there was a timing issue between the two.
Exactly. Just the
with one of the backups.
There was a window of time where it didn't back up, and it missed it by 30 minutes. And
exactly.
They needed one document.
Yep.
It's a crazy story, but if we had a local and an onsite and an offsite backup, probably would have caught it.
Exactly. So.
And then there's the classic theft, fire, flood.
That's what's funny is like we rarely ever encounter a reason to use backup that includes theft, fire, or flood. Those are the least common reasons we would recommend a backup.
Yeah.
It's usually your computer got corrupted and we need to restore, or someone lost it or accidentally ruined something about it, or it's just one file that you saved over that you need to go and retrieve.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Or we have some clients that like delete a file without knowing it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Too. So a lot of reasons for that. So that really takes care of the Ask Foojee section for today. We've gone long enough, but we just wanted to spend some time. If you want us to go deeper with backups, or if you have questions about backups, again, I just can't say this enough. Like, we want to help. I started this company to help. So just send us a comment, in YouTube here.
Yeah.
Shoot us an email or hashtag us askFoojee. And also let us know what you think about this format. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you want to see more of something, we are all ears. So good seeing everyone, and we will see you in 2 weeks, and let's see if we know by then if Apple's going to have an event or not. So see you soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you find value in these episodes, be sure to subscribe so you'll get notified every time